Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful hoodie kaftan. You can see it has a zipper at the front. So I'll be showing you the easiest way to cut out your hoodie, and it looks nice and smart. Okay, you can see my two pockets for the hoodie. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, please stay till the end of this tutorial. So I'm using 3 yards of fabric. So fabric is Duchess or crepe, but here I used Dollface satin fabric because that is what I have. So my fabric is 3 yards. Then I'm going to cut out 2 yards right now from the 3 yards. So the 2 yards will serve for the body, and I'll be using 1 yard for the hoodie and for the sleeve as well. So if you're on a bigger size, just go ahead and use 3.5 or 4 yards. So here I put my 2 yards together. I put it on fold, then I'm going to put it on another fold. So after doing that, the part that is folded and folded is going to be the center front and center back. So here you can see the open part. It will be on the side. Then the part that is folded and folded now is my center back and center front. So I'm arranging my fabric very well, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to create my border line at 1 inch. So I'll just go ahead and create my border line, which is the starting point for my measurement. So here the folded part is center front, like I said before, and it will serve as center back. So I place my tape on top, and I'll measure my chest line at 9 inches, my waistline at 17, hip at 29. Then the full length, I'm using the whole length of this fabric. So it can be 60 inches or 58 inches, it depends. So here I'm taking neckline of 3.5. Neck width for back is 1 inch. Neck width for back is 1 inch by 3.5. So just go ahead and create the neckline. Neck depth for front is 3.5. So I'm going to connect the 3.5 to 3.5 for the front neckline. So I will take my shoulder divide by 2. My shoulder is 15, divide by 2 is 7.5. Then I'll add half an inch for seam allowance. Then come down by 1 inch for my shoulder drop. So I'm going to connect my shoulder drop now, and I'm going to take the measurement of what I have on the shoulder, which is 8 inches. I'll take it to the chest line and mark 8 inches as well. So now I'm going to connect a straight line. I want to create my armhole. So just get the midpoint of that 8 inches, which is 4 inches, and go in by 0.5 and 0.75, which is 3/4 for front and back armhole. So you can connect now. So my bust circumference is 40, divided by 4 is 10. Add 2 inches on your bust line and complete your armhole with your pattern ruler. So I will connect the front at 3/4 and connect the back at half an inch. So after that is done, I will go over to the waistline and measure my waist circumference divided by 4, which is 9.5. From the center front, I place my tape, and I'm going to mark 9.5, then add 3 inches. Add 3 inches to your waistline. On the hip divided by 4, I'll mark. Then my hip divided by 4 is 12. I'll add 3 inches. Then I'm going to take what I have on the hip line right now. But before that, let me connect the points I just made now, so you can see how I'm connecting it. So now I'm going to take what I have on the hip line. I'll take it from the center front, center back. So there I have 15 inches, and I'm going to add it to the hem. So on the hem, to allow you work, you can just add 1 more inch to it, to what you measure, so you'll be able to work freely. So you can add 1 more inch to what you have on the hip line for the hem part. So I'm cutting now. Go ahead and add 1/2 inch on the shoulder line. Then I'm going to cut the back neckline only. Okay, so after cutting the back neckline, I'm done cutting out the whole back, both armholes. So I'll just take off the back so that we can cut out the front neckline. So I'm arranging my fabric right now. So I'm going to cut out the front neckline, as you can see. So I'll follow my chalk line and cut out the front neckline. And after that, I'm going to cut out the armhole, which I went in by 0.75. That is for the front sleeve. So after doing that, the front is ready. So I want to show you how to sew this zipper. So this zipper is really a very stylish zipper, and I love this zipper so much. So just come in with your zipper and place it on top of the center front. On the iron part, just go ahead and mark a line above it at 0.5 inch. So that would be this where we are going to cut out our zipper. Then come in by 0.5. Mark 0.5 on the center front from that part to the upper piece. And then we are going to rule our line at 0.5. So after ruling my line at 0.5, I will bring back my zipper. I just want to be sure I align my zipper very properly. So I'll take my zipper a little bit up, okay, at 1/2 inch and before I place. So that will now make me to mark again that line on that iron part. I'll come up again by 0.5. So please ignore the first mark. Just ignore the first one that we did. We are using the second marking at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut right now. I'm cutting what we have on that 0.5 up to that first mark. Then I'm going to cut it off, as you can see. Then you will be making a notch diagonally at 0.5. Make a notch diagonally at 0.5. So when you open this front zipper part, this is what you are going to have. You can see the notches, and this part will be folded in when we stitch our zipper. Alright, so we will now go over to the zipper. So I have my zipper length. The fabric I cut 2 inches and the length is 18 inches. So it depends on the length of your zipper anyway. Just add 3 inches to your zipper, that's all. So these 2 inches I have now, I will sew the zipper on the both sides. So I'm going to create the center line. Just find the midline of the 2 inches, which is 1 inch, and go ahead and rule a straight line. It's going to serve as a guide for us to sew this zip. I'll repeat the same thing I did on this other piece of fabric. Find the midpoint, rule a straight line, and that is it. So the next we'll do now is to go over to the machine. This is how my zipper is going to be placed. I'll just flip it the normal way you sew your zipper, but you are going to sew it right on top of the chalk line. So first you change your zipper foot, so you'll be able to sew the zip accordingly. So I'm changing my zipper foot, as you can see right there. So I'm just screwing the zipper foot. So I'll come in with the first strip, and I'll place my zipper as if I'm sewing it on my fabric. You can see how I placed it just on that line. The way you sew your zip on your fabric, just follow that method and sew it on it like that. So after sewing the first, I'll sew it all the way down and back stitch. Then this is what I have. I'm going to bring the other part too. Like I said, the way you place your zipper on your fabric, that is what you are going to do here. So I came up a little bit by 0.5 inch, okay, on that zip. Then for this part, I'm securing it with my pin because I want to start from the under of my zip to stitch. After pinning it right now, I'm going to start from the under right now. It depends on your zipper foot anyway, but I don't want to change to the other zipper foot. So I'll place my zipper foot right now, and I'm going to stitch very close to my zip from down, still on the chalk line, I'll take it up to the upper line, as you can see. Alright, so this is what I have. I'll just flip it together and zip it up. So I'm going to stitch right now. I've changed to my presser foot again. So I just want to put the two fabric together and stitch them as one. So we'll have the zipper relaxed accordingly. So after stitching, I'm going to also stitch the other side, as you can see, from the upper like that. I'm going to sew it right down. So after sewing it, the zipper is ready. I'll go over and give it a good press. So just go ahead and use your steam iron. That is if you have. If you don't have, just use a fabric with steam and give it a good press. But please mind the zip head. You can see I have a zip head right there. So mind the zip head so you don't break it. So I'll just give it a good press, and on the zip head I'll just be careful and iron by the side of it, as you can see me do right here. So now I'm going to trim off the excess. I'm cleaning up the edges. You will see some edges that are rough. Just clean them off, and that is exactly what I'm doing right here. So after that, you can see our zipper is ready and looking so beautiful. So I'll bring in my fabric right now, the front piece of the fabric, and I'll place the zipper in front of it. We are going to sew the zipper right now. So I want you to watch how I'm flipping my zipper. So I'll go to my machine and I'll flip this way and stitch at 0.5 to the point I notched. So I'm done sewing it to the point I notched. You can see my stitches. And I'm going to also flip it the other way and stitch at 0.5 to the point I notched. So this is what I have after sewing. So the other part, I'm going to push it in and lift my fabric and secure it with my stitches. You can see that I'll secure it with my stitches. I'm done doing that. I'll cut off the excess. So after cutting off the excess, I'll go over to my machine and give it a good press. But then I need to place my applique. So if you have any beautiful applique or appliques as they call it, just go ahead and stitch it, and I've done that. So I'm just trying to create that design we have right there on the thumbnail. Okay, but if you have exactly that applique, please just drop it like that. So you can see what I created right there, and it's looking beautiful as well. So we are done, and I'm going to mark the pocket. So you can see my waistline. On that waistline, just come down by 2 inches. That is where our pocket is going to be placed. So I'm supposed to place both the back and the front together, so I'll be able to notch all of them together. But I'm going to notch the front and place the front on top of the back and notch the pocket. So here I have my pocket. My pocket measures 10 inches by 12 inches. So now on the 10 inches part, I'll come down by 1 inch. And I have 4 pieces of my pocket right there. Then I'll measure 7 inches from that 1 inch, as you can see. Then I'm going to place my hand. You can see how I put my hand down, and I will take the shape of my hand. So just watch how I'm going to curve it in. So after curving it in, I'm going to cut out what I have right there on the pocket. Now I'm done cutting out the pocket. You can see the shape of my pocket. So that part remains 7 inches for my pocket opening. So I will take the pocket and I'm going to match them. The upper side, I'll place it right side to right side. Of course, you know this part. I'll sew 1/2 inch on the 4 sides. So here I'm done sewing my pocket on the 4 sides of the dress, both back and front. And then I'm going to place the back to stitch the size of this pocket. So I'm going to stitch 1 inch or 0.75. Then I'll sew half an inch on the pocket side. Then when I return, I'll go in with 1 inch or 3/4 depending on what I'm using. So the shoulder seam is half an inch. So I'm going to sew, which I've done now. So this is my pocket and it's looking very beautiful. So the body of the dress is ready. So now we want to open up the zipper to take the measurement of the neckline, but please cut off the excess zipper head. So I'm taking the measurement from the center front right now. That is my neckline measurement. We'll be using it to cut out the hoodie. So I'll take that measurement to the next center line. I have 21 inches. So please have 21 inches in your mind. So we want to cut out the hoodie. Your hoodie height is 17 inches standard and 16 inches standard. Okay, 17 by 16. So I cut out a square fabric and I have 4 pieces of my fabric there. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to rule 1 inch border line on this side. Okay, so I will rule my ruler. I'll use my ruler. Then I'll just make a little line on top because the height of the hoodie is already 17. So on top I'll come out by 0.5, and below I'll also highlight that line. Then from below I'll come up by 4 inches. Then with my curve ruler I'm going to connect the 4 inches to the half an inch on top. So after doing that, we are going to use that 21 inches we got from the neckline, divide it by 2, and there I have 10.5. I'm going to add half an inch to it. So from that border line, just mark 11 inches, add half an inch to it. So after marking the half an inch, come down and mark again 11 inches. After marking 11 inches up and down, just make a straight line. Then I'm going to come down by 2 inches and go in by 4 inches on top. Then I'll connect it with my pattern ruler like this. We are trying to form the hoodie right now. Then from that point, come down by 4 inches again and come out by another 4 inches. Then connect from the 2 inches line to the 4 inches outside the box. Okay, so after that, the next we are going to do is to come up by 4 inches again and complete the hoodie neck line. So this is what I have now. So come out with your dress now, put it together and take the measurement of the back neckline on fold. The measurement of the back neckline on fold. So here I have 4.25. So I'm going to place my tape from that point, mark 4.25 and come up by 1 inch and use your rule and rule a straight line from that point. That is the back hoodie line. Then I'm going to cut my hoodie following the chalk lines, as you can see right here. So I will keep cutting following the chalk lines. So I'll just go around it, as you can see, then cut out the lower piece of it. So my hoodie is ready right now. So the next we are going to do is to pick them two pieces. We have 4 pieces of them. 2 will be for lining and 2 will be for fabric. Then place them right side to right side. After placing them right side to right side, just go over to the machine and follow these chalk lines of 0.5 inch and sew this part I chalked right now. I'm going to also place the lining right side to right side, and then I'm going to chalk the parts of the hoodie parts. Okay, so just chalk it and sew. So here I'm done sewing. So after sewing, you have 2 of them. Place them right side to right side on the center line and flip the seams, secure with your pin. So after securing with your pin from that middle line, just go ahead and stitch. So you can see I'm done stitching. So like I said, one part is the lining. So the lining part, just flip the seams to it and go ahead and top stitch. So I'm done top stitching. This is what I have right now. So you go ahead and give it a good press as well. So the next is to attach this hoodie to the main dress, which we are done with. So I'm going to put it together to get the center back line. So I'll create a notch on the center back and I'll bring in the hoodie, as you can see. So I'm going to place the upper part of it, which is the lining part of it. You can see how I'm placing it. Match only the lining from the center back of the hoodie and of the dress and stitch. So here you can see I'm done stitching from that point. And now we are going to tuck in 1/2 inch and top stitch on top of it, so that at the end of the day we have a neat finishing. So please ensure you secure with your pin from end to end, so that when you are sewing it, it will not give you stress to sew. So I'll go ahead and stitch from that beginning to the end of it. So please mark the center back, before you top stitch. Just secure it with your pin before you go ahead and top stitch. And that is what I'm trying to do right now. So center back is very important that you secure it so everything matches accordingly. Then I'm going to top stitch. So I'm done top stitching. You can see how beautiful the hoodie is looking and my zipper. So everything is ready now. So we want to go over to the sleeve. So I'm going to use my sleeve pattern to cut out my sleeve. So here I'm done cutting my sleeve pattern already, and this is the wrong side. I also made a notch for the front, and as you can see, so I will go and sew the sides. I'm done sewing now. So the next is to bring in the dress and place the front side to the front piece of the dress. So here is the front side of my dress. So I'll open up the zipper and turn it to the other side and insert my sleeve, match the sleeve head and the armhole seam line. Go over to the machine and sew round. So make sure you sew it very neatly and perfect. You can see I'm done sewing the sleeves. The sleeves are ready. So you can see this beautiful dress we just made there with hoodie. Okay. So I believe you learned something from this tutorial. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.